Okay, responding to my friend Adjanys in this little video because I want a lot of people to hear this, and I also want Adjanys to get the chance to respond in kind and bring her face and her voice into the public sphere to bring all of her wisdom and knowledge more in the open. I believe that she deserves it, and I believe that you all deserve to hear this response to a bit of a conversation that we were having the other day. I know we were having a conversation about past lives, but we started talking about Adjanys is extensively researched in the Bible, and I am in a different way, more from like a literature, like who wrote it sense. And it was 111 when I said that. So I know that she has like this major connection to the Bible, and we were just talking the other day about how God likes to be experienced and how God likes to experience us, and how sometimes we fall into, that's what it was. We fall into like a pit of despair and like hopelessness and pointlessness, where some days it's just like existential dread or like existential meaninglessness. And I had come to the thought before that that the dinosaurs were already wiped out, like, you know, and some of them survived. We've got living dinosaurs and evolutions of those dinosaurs still alive with us today. So we know that when apocalypse occurs, that there is still life. There is still life that lives. But I also believe that dinosaurs were kind of like a test run, like a let's just see what we could do. Let's see how many different kinds of we can do. Version 1, Earth version 1.0. And so I don't really believe that there's going to be like a complete crash, like or a complete wipeout of existence on Earth in the same way, because I feel like spirit likes to be experiencing itself in a lot of different ways, and wouldn't want to do the same thing over again, would want to do it, differently this time, and also with added consciousness. So this is what I was thinking of. I've been thinking about ignorance being bliss today, because there are so many people who are fucking ignorant of the racism that we experience in this country, and the fact that there's a national holiday that still in schools celebrates a rapist and murderer. But I think maybe that's where the conversation about past lives started with Adjanys, whose spiritual mentor was telling her how we've all been rapists and murderers in past lives. So like compassion. And then we got into a whole bunch of other things, but the main point was that ignorance is bliss. And it's possible that the dinosaurs were just ignorant of what would happen and got to be like the ones who like don't see it coming, just get a complete full surrender because it just happens when it happens, like end of times, here it actually is. Whereas Earth version 2.0, if that's what we call it, is kind of like, okay, I'm coming back to the Bible part, is kind of like the Bible story of Adam and Eve, where Eve chooses not to be version 1.0, chooses to be version 2.0. Because version 1.0 is ignorance is bliss. That's version 1.0. Version 2.0 is consciousness. So we're like aware. We have evidence of there was a version 1 that like was left behind for us to find, was left with the right tools for us to find a version 1.0 that came before us. And the consciousness to understand what the fuck that means. We have the knowledge now. And does that mean that we will succeed in preventing apocalypse in whatever form it may take, because we have the awareness to see it coming, / because we have the consciousness and the tools and the resources and the ability to fix it before we bring it upon ourselves? Is it an apocalypse by consciousness? Like that's that's another question. Will it be that ignorance was bliss and that was fun to see what Earth is about for the first time? Cool, reset button. Version 2.0. What if we made more kinds of them? And what if some of them were far more consciously superior? And when I say consciously superior, I mean just from the perspective of a human, talking about the creation of consciousness. Because we feel that consciousness is pretty great. We'd rather be some, okay, not all of us, but most of us would rather be humans, to have this experience, to have this visceral feeling, understanding, like connecting, imagining experience. And some of us would prefer the bliss of ignorance. My question is, is that how the story goes? Is that what it is? It feels true. It feels true. But is that how the story goes? Or did the dinosaurs have a level of consciousness that we're just unaware of? Because we don't know what their tools look like then. We don't know if, I mean, how does, I have a lot of questions coming from the limited knowledge that I have about dinosaurs. But ultimately, I feel like the concept holds up. That there's just like a raw desire to live in the present and escape pain by any means necessary. And an awareness of pain and pleasure as even identical yet contrasting feelings. I have a lot of questions. They're not going to be resolved without hearing from my friend Adjanys first, so I'm going to end this video here. I promise to keep it to 10 minutes so that we can really make them. Now your turn! Now your turn! And keep the conversation going. But in like a personal way, and in a way that we can share. I really like this. I hope that this continues and that this flows. And also, my colleague and friend Sarah will be hopefully doing the same. I would love to see where this goes. Even if this just ends up being me talking to myself, I'm pretty excited about it already. Having finished this first one, pretty excited about it already. All right, I love y'all. Mwah!